saying that, as you were saying it, you and I, while I was listening, you and I at the same time said Whitey Ford.
Right. Yeah, he's the only one left.
He is. He's literally the only one left.
Rizzuto's
and
gone.
I remember when Phil Rizzuto died. I was sitting at my desk at the promotional products company, and someone came over to me and said that Phil Rizzuto just passed, and
the scooter.
It was like I lost a member of my family. I mean, he was a really great guy too. Of course, wasn't it true that his age? No one knew his real age.
For a lot of them, I don't know if everybody really knows their real age. I
know Phil Rizzuto lied about his age to play baseball.
I don't know, but with Derek Jeter retiring, that's how it feels, because I look at the Yankee lineup now, and with the exception of a couple of names, I really don't know who's on the team. And I honestly don't know how they have actually been in contention up until now, because it seems like a team made up of, also-rans. No one's having a great year, although Rodriguez is having a very good year, a good production year. Teixeira's been hurt. They've been... Gardner was hurt at the beginning. Jacoby Ellsbury was hurt for quite a while. Sabathia is nothing like he used to be.
Right.
And I believe if the Yankees get in as a wild card, they will be playing Houston. And I honestly don't know who really has the better team. In all honesty, it's been like I said, with the retirement of Jeter and some of the Yankees going to other teams, I really don't know. Baseball, it might be America's pastime, but it's not my pastime anymore. I have to say.
Baseball has passed this. Baseball has passed.
Baseball anymore. It never has been for ages. It's all like political now. It's money. It's like money making, and it's just. I used to enjoy sitting and watching the game. I mean, we used to have people in my house constantly watching games. We used to go to the games. I even the year that I was pregnant, I had season tickets. So we would go every Sunday to the games, and I would go in the dead, it was 1,000 degrees out, and here I am with my little stomach sitting there watching the game, and people would say, come on, let's leave. I was like, leave? I was like, it's not even the ninth inning yet. Why are you leaving? Because, it's uncomfortable for you. I said, have you heard me complain? When I start complaining, then we can leave. But until then, sit your backside down and enjoy the game. I mean, that was me. I grew up with baseball. My dad was an umpire. I played softball my whole life. I mean, my grandmother, you could sit and talk for hours about baseball. She loved the game, and I mean, she watched all the old timers. She watched. I have to tell you, of course, she saw Yogi. She's seen. I think she's even seen Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the Iron Horse,
seen it
Lou
all.
Gehrig.
Well,
he held the record for the most consecutive games until who was it? Cal Ripken broke the record. Broke his record, and Gehrig did not have a long career either, because he came down with ALS, and
I think
that
was it. He
passed
came down with it.
they had Lou Gehrig Day, and about 2 or 3 weeks later, he passed away. You know,
Right, because I think Lou Gehrig's birthday is June 2nd, and then like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I think he passed.
When you talk about, it being like family, I was never a Brooklyn Dodger fan, but I know the Brooklyn Dodgers, most of the team lived in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Okay, they had apartments there or a house in those days. The Yankees sort of lived all over. I mean, because Mickey Mantle was from Oklahoma. Okay, Whitey Ford was from Queens. Yogi Berra originally was from Missouri, but he was living in New Jersey. I'm not sure where Elston Howard was from. But the bottom line is, a lot of the Brooklyn Dodgers lived in Brooklyn. Okay, so it was like family, But I mean, year after year, you used to have basically the same lineup, and there wasn't any such thing as free agency. Now, not only in baseball, but I mean in every sport. Football, everybody, there's really there are very few players that are loyal to one team. It's, if you're going to pay me more money, I'll play for you.
It's not even that. They force trades on players also.
The what?
They force a lot of trades on players. They have no choice.
Well, in hockey, I know they force a lot of trades because in hockey, nobody gets traded more than in hockey. Because what happens is if a player develops, chances are the team can't afford him the next year when his contract is up. All right, so they have to trade him while they can still get somebody for him. All right. A lot of times, like in baseball, well, in hockey, if you take Ray Bourque, okay, Ray Bourque played his whole career practically with the Boston Bruins. He was traded to the Colorado Avalanche in hockey because I think Colorado was going to win the Stanley Cup that year. And Boston traded him just to give him a chance to win a Stanley Cup ring. Because when he retired, they retired his number in Boston. They named a street after him, and that's what happens, that these guys, they're traded, or take football. Steve Weatherford, the kicker for the Giants. He was with the Giants for 5 years. He was with the Jets for a couple of years. He and his family made a video actually thanking the Giant organization for treating them like family, and being very happy and proud for the 5 years that they spent as a New York Giant. Now, where do you see something like that?
Yeah. It's true, but like you said, what you said, it's in hockey. It's in every sports game. Their players are commodities.
That's it. They are commodities.
They are commodities, and whoever's willing to pay the most for the commodity, or they'll take 4 players for 1 player. They make a lot of crazy trades in all the sports, and that's the way it works. Unfortunately, very few players can just stay where they want for the rest of their lives. It just doesn't happen, except maybe for a few Yankees who just retired.
Well, Jeter.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, guy just retired. Jeter, he was able to play. So.
He played his whole career. It's very rare that a player plays his whole career with one team anymore.
I really don't remember anybody else other than Jeter playing their whole career with one team.
Even Andy Pettitte went to Houston for a few years because
he didn't go to Houston because of himself as a player. He actually was forced, and no one knows this or can remember, but his wife wanted to go back to Texas.
Well, he said he wanted it. His son was playing high school baseball. He wanted to see his son. He wanted to be around for high school games. So to keep peace in the family, he went back to Texas, back to Houston, and what's his face?
And Clemens did the same thing.
Right. Clemens did the same thing also under the excuse because he also had a kid playing high school ball.
Right.
And but then Clemens got into trouble with steroids, and Pettit got into some trouble, but at least Pettit came clean. And that's why, people are very forgiving. If you're going to fess up and say, look, I made a mistake, instead of covering it up and making an excuse, it's always been that way.
Right. Like I said, baseball is very political. I mean, between all the money that's involved, now all the drugs with the steroids, and who's done it and who's not done it, and who's on the list, who's not on the list, it drives a lot of people away from it because nobody wants to hear it. Plus, it's that. Let's face it. There's really no players anymore like the old players. I mean, you can't really sit and enjoy the game because it's just not a game anymore. And it's astronomical to even go to a game.
I know. You can't, back in the day, you used to at least be able to bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a bottle of soda pop or something, and a little dessert. Now, you can't. Well, first of all, you could say ever since 9/11, but even before 9/11, they weren't letting anybody bring backpacks or food. You had to get whatever was at the stadium, and the prices are astronomical. But it's not only baseball games. It's at football games and hockey games and basketball games. It's all the same thing.
Mhm.
Well, football games are tailgate.
Do you know the bar across the street from the old stadium called Stan's?
I don't know if it's still around. I have no idea.
But have you heard of it?
No.
No.
All right. It's a famous bar. Like I said, it's right across the street from the old stadium. It happens to be my friend's father's bar. And we would go there before the game and go in, get some drinks, then go to the game, and then come back and hang out there. And a lot of people would, it's nuts in there. You can't, it's like you're squished because there's so many people there. You can actually go there and enjoy seeing the game rather than going across the street and pay $1,000 trillion for a hot dog or even for your seat.
Very true.
Is it still open, the bar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do they serve food there?
I haven't gone in a while. I haven't been to a real baseball game, well, since I was pregnant. We're talking 8 years ago. That was the last time I went to an actual real baseball game. I mean, I went to the Staten Island Yankee game last month. You guys know because I called you while I was there.
Right.
But I mean, I'd rather go see the minor league teams play rather than a real live Yankee game. Again, and I'm not saying because it's, I'm not cheap or anything like that, but to go from Staten Island to the Bronx, pay for parking, pay for a hot dog and a pretzel, and God knows what else my kid's going to want.
And what about the tolls on the bridge?
It adds up.
Don't forget the tolls on the bridge.
Yeah, well, the good thing is I have 2 bridges I'd have to go over.
Got the Verrazano and you have the
Stadium, I go to
Triborough.
Jersey. So I would have to take two bridges.
That's right, for you to go to